Zach, Georgia's a team that, quarterback has been an issue for them all season long. Somebody I talked to today said they expect JT Daniels to get the start. That's a guy you shouldn't have a whole lot of film on for what he's done at Georgia. This late in the season, is it difficult to prepare for guys that you haven't seen much of?
I think it's always a little bit of a challenge when you haven't seen them operate in their offense. But I don't know if you have a reliable source who can confirm that it's 100%. That's who we're facing. I'd certainly like to speak to that person. But no, now he's got a full season under his belt back when he was at USC, and so get to watch some of that tape. And obviously, he is a extremely talented young man who's got some special arm ability. And so if he's the guy back there, that'll certainly be a heck of a challenge. And the guys who've played for him have done some really good things as well. So there's about a trio of quarterbacks we have to prepare for in this one.
Next, we will go to Steve Robertson.
Coach, you've had some attrition recently, due to opt-outs. I mean, obviously that's disheartening, but as their coach, how do you kind of handle this with the rest of the players and kind of keep them centered?
I think, obviously we support guys in their decision, what's best for them, and when you're in the middle of the season, you kind of just it's a next man up mentality, right? I certainly know our future opponents could care less. About what the situation is if you lose a guy. There's no sympathy. So you got to get the next man up ready to go, and we got to go out there and play good defense. That's the mentality around here. And you got some good guys on the defense side, preaching that message and leading the unit. And so that always helps too.
Kind of following up on that too, with Pickering opting out, where does that kind of leave you rotation-wise at tackle, D-tackle? It'll be a slew of guys, rotating in there. But obviously, our starting group has been Marquise, Kobe, and Crumity, and those guys are used to playing a whole bunch of snaps. And obviously, we'll have a rotation set. Cam Young's gotten in there. He had to get in there a little bit last game, inside at nose. I'm sure you'll see him some more, and. They'll give a chance for some young guys who maybe haven't got on the field that much, like a Banks, Javon Banks. Give him a chance to get out there, show what he can do.
Next, we'll throw it to David Murray.
Coach, with those players out, how were you able to handle practice last week with maybe some of the position groups down or guys opting out?
I imagine it's like most teams, right? You just you cut down on some reps, or you do drills that cater to where your numbers are at. And so we had normal practices, though they followed the normal schedule. We probably just had some less reps per period because you had less guys out there.
Next, we'll go to Joel Coleman.
Zach, is the mood pretty positive right now amongst your guys, given the fact there may be some guys that get on the field that hadn't played a lot, and just with all that's been going on, I guess just what's kind of the general mood of your group?
Oh, I think the mood is just like every game week in every season, right? You're getting ready to play a football game. All you got time to worry about is, getting the game plan down, getting yourself mentally and physically ready to play, and then going about your business.
Anything else for Coach Arnett? We'll go back to David Murray.
Talk about more what you see of Georgia. Of course, the quarterback's question is the one thing they talk a lot there, but there's a pretty good skill group of running backs there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got a pretty good group at every position group now. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job recruiting, and so there's no shortage of talent at any position group. Offensive line is big and physical, and they're athletic, so they move well, and they're creating all kinds of air for the running backs, of which they have a stable of guys back there who are all dangerous ball carriers. Not only they got breakaway speed. I mean, first play of the game versus Florida, right? 78-yard touchdown around a corner. I imagine Florida's defense runs pretty well, so that ought to tell you right there how well their tailbacks run. And then they got big, fast guys on the outside at receiver and tight end who can hurt you through the air. So, you can't sell out and just play zero coverage to stop the run, or else they're going to throw it over the top of you and throw for 1,000,000 yards when you can't just play pure coverage because, they'll pound it right at you. And so that's a well-balanced football team. It's probably why they've, been in the SEC title game the last 2 years and been so successful. They got really good players and really good coaches who scheme to
You talk
it.
about the next man up philosophy. That's a challenge during the season, but how much also does help inspire the younger guys to think I'm working for this year and for next year as well. I can prove myself under these circumstances.
I think if you're a competitor, you just want the opportunity to get out there and play. And so, whatever the situation may be while you're in there, now's your opportunity.
We'll go to Steve, and then we got time for one more.
Coach, you mentioned leadership earlier in the press conference. How important has having a veteran group of guys like Kobe Jones in it? How valuable have they been through these trying times with all this craziness?
Well, I've said it all year long, right? I mean, we're really fortunate. You got guys like Errol, Kobe, Marquise, those seniors, those veterans on our defensive side we got who have played a whole bunch. They know exactly what it's like going through a full SEC schedule. You got those guys leading the group. Makes it pretty easy on you as a coach to just kind of be quiet and let them lead the unit. And so I'm very appreciative of their efforts.
We have time for one more. Does anybody else have anything for Coach Arnett? If not, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
And Tony Hughes will be up next.